perspective on the O-line, very little changes for them in terms of, Jacoby's in the game or Connor's in the game. For you and the tight ends, tell me about that and just how does one quarterback in the game versus the other impact you guys at all?
Yeah, I have confidence in both of them. It doesn't really matter who's back there. They both play great football. They both complement each other pretty well. Like as a player, it really doesn't matter who's back there. Like I said, I do have confidence in both of those guys. I know that those guys can lead us down the field and help us score. So it doesn't really matter who's in the game, tight end wise, or like from a tight end's perspective, it doesn't really matter. So they both do great things, and again, we have confidence in them.
Yeah, we got to see Jacoby a little bit more this past weekend. Just what were you impressed with what you saw from him, and how much of that have you already just been seeing in practice reps, kind of fall camp practice?
Yeah, if I were him, I would have felt a little discouragement, kind of throughout the season, coming here, coming back here and not playing, and God has blessed them without a doubt. So I would just say the confidence that he's had and not getting discouraged, because you can get discouraged and lose your confidence really quickly in college football, and he didn't do that. He kept his head high and he kept working, and I'm just happy to see him see some success on the field.
Is he any different from currently than he was maybe 2 years ago when you guys were his teammate?
Yeah, a lot of y'all don't know this. I actually roomed with him too in Rams, so that was just kind of funny how far back we go. But he, I would just say the confidence. He came on the field. He was ready when he needed to be ready, because as Connor during the Minnesota game, he had no idea what was going to happen to Max, and can change just like that, and that's for anybody on the field. So I think just being ready when your number's going to be called.
And you obviously ended up with 6 catches. That's actually most that you've had in a single game. I guess how much of that do you feel was just kind of the nature of how everything played out? Like, did you kind of expect to see the attention offensively that you ended up getting the other day?
To be honest, no. I didn't expect that, but I can just give all the glory to God and just thank Him for blessing me and allowing me to play well. But you never know how the game's going to go. I could get zero targets and just block the entire game. But if we win, then we win, and I'm happy either way.
On those balls that Jacoby threw you in the second half, how many of those were checkdowns? Did he check down to you?
I think it was maybe 2 or 3, so almost half.
That looks like something that, even though he's an older player, he's a young player as far as game experience goes. Mm-hmm. It looked like checkdown was something that he did pretty well. Is that something that you've seen from him throughout since he came back?
Yeah, and
the composure aspect of that Coach Lindsey was talking about the other day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a mental clock in your head especially at QB. You can't sit in that pocket for too long, and you can't hold the ball for too long. Nobody has eyes in the back of your head, so I think he was probably just trying to get it out as quick as he can too, and just get what you can get, and play another down.
Football's often a game of opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Someone gets hurt, someone else gets an opportunity. Is it kind of a cool story in your mind when you think about the path that Jacoby has traveled to get back here, and now he's on the field and very well could get a lot of reps moving forward?
Absolutely, yeah, and I think that's only a God thing, which is crazy, because he didn't play here. He was behind Drake, then he transferred to Arkansas, didn't play a whole lot there, and then he came back, wasn't starting, and unfortunately with Max, the injury and stuff, and it's just all God. It's nothing else but him. So.
Is there a feel-good aspect for you? You've known him for a while. You've kind of seen the.
Absolutely.
He's got this.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. As a friend and as a teammate, but like we were saying earlier with the quarterbacks, it doesn't matter who's back there. I've got full confidence in both of them. But even if that was happening with Connor, I'd be just as happy for him.
Coach, we've avoided the obvious question. I think your very nimble touchdown the other night. Tell us about that. You made some moves.
Long time coming, huh?
Was it Howard that almost tackled you? There was friendly fire involved there. Take us through the thing, and you put some shakes on some people.
Yeah, no. I don't know. Just kind of came to me. I wasn't it's not something I've been practicing. For however long. Just a little jump cut and just tried to make the first guy miss, and just on open lane from there.
And it was Howard, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How in the heck was he? How did he get turned around like that? I mean, he was about to have a head-on collision.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm not sure how it all played out on his end, but I know it worked out, and just happy that God allowed me to score. So.
Yeah.
How important is it for you guys to end this non-conference slate on a high note as you head into next week ACC play, a rivalry game?
Yeah, I mean we're not even talking about Duke. We got to focus on what we're doing now, and we got to be where our feet are at. And although it is going to be a big game, like we got to focus on JMU. Duke doesn't matter unless we can beat JMU, and like that's our standard. And you've seen Coach Brown talk about it, and it's us versus us. So just focus on JMU and taking it one day at a time.
But to have a clean non-conference slate too, but I'm sure that's
Yeah,
get you guys conference.
absolutely, yeah, for sure.
What have been the points of emphasis in practice this week?
I mean, it's just kind of been the same thing, like it's us versus us. You got to be where your feet are at. If you're at film, you're at film. If you're at practice, you're at practice. You're at classes, you're at classes. Like you can't get too far ahead of yourselves, because then that's when you start talking about Duke. That's when you start talking about Georgia Tech. Like those games don't matter because we're playing JMU this week, so it's all about JMU. So like I said, just being where your feet are at.
JMU was off last weekend, so only 2 games to look at with a whole new coaching staff, a lot of new stuff that they're doing. What's your take on them defensively? What are some of the things they do that you guys are focusing on?
Yeah, I mean, we're really just going out there and going to be playing our own ball. We're excited for the game to come up, and I mean, they've got good players, and it'll be a good matchup. They've been really, really good in their conference, and we're excited to play them. They got George Pettaway. That'll be good to see him. So we're excited to have that matchup.
I actually was going to ask you a little bit about that. What do you think of the year that he's having? I know the first game he had a couple touchdowns. Last week he had about 84 yards. What do you kind of make of how he's doing over at LG?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. It stinks that wasn't getting as much playing time here, but that's how it happens and that's how it goes. But I'm happy for him for all the success that he's seen.
You ever text him oh, it's only a touchdown, anything like that?
I have not. I need to though. I haven't, but and I'm sure I'll see him after the game too. So.
What do you remember about that? It was the Wofford game in 2021. That it was a Jacoby Drake
Yeah.
split. You remember that?
I do. Yes, sir.
What do you? That's the only game Jacoby started, I believe, if I'm right.
Yes.
What do you remember? What do you remember about that day? It was a long time ago.
It was, man.
Sam Howell era.
Yeah, and I think Sam might have been hurt, or they didn't want him to play, but I don't know. I know that I know that they did split time, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Okay, take us back to. You said you lived with him, Jacoby. When
Yes,
was
sir.
this? 2020.
Yeah, 2020 and 21 when we were in the dorms.
Who all was in? Was there a group of guys there?
Yeah, so it was me, Colby Doreen, Landon Stevens. Those guys are gone, and Jacoby. And it was a blast. 3206. That was our room. It was just a really good time, and we all stay in contact till today, and just kind of cool to see how far we've all come, and especially him and his story. So it's just awesome looking back on it.
And what's Jacoby like as a roommate?
I would definitely say that he definitely has a personality. I know he can be quiet at sometimes, but during COVID, we came in early. We had spring break, and then we stayed home for however long. And he was actually home with me for about 3 months. So I had him at my house, and that was fun too, because we could learn the playbook, go out and throw, and it's like we weren't missing a beat, not being here. But he's a good roommate. He is. He thinks he's funny. Sometimes he is. Sometimes he isn't. But he's a good dude. He's a really good dude, and he loves the Lord, and he's great.
Another quick question, just random question. Do you use the UNC barbershop? And if so, what do you like about that space?
I don't. I know a lot of guys do. I actually have a girl that I go get my hair cut at from called Avita Edgeman, kind of like 10 minutes past Walmart. But I put a few guys on with her, and she's great, and she cuts Coach Forbes' hair. And but I don't. It's like a lot of people say that they're cheating on their barber and stuff. But so I kind of feel the same way. I feel like I can't do her dirty when I get a different haircut. But
You got to do what you got to do. How much did you talk to Jacoby when he was at Arkansas?
I'd say about maybe like every 2 weeks to a month.
Regularly?
Yeah.
And I mean, what was that like? I mean, just normal stuff. But what did he tell you about? You know, when did the idea of maybe coming back here, start gaining some traction?
Well, he said he was going to transfer, after the 23 season, and I didn't put it in his head at all. And I was just like, you got to do what you got to do. If you need any help, like, let me know, and maybe me or anybody here that can probably help you too. But he mentioned it to me after a few weeks, and I was like, I can ask some of the coaches, see what they think and all that. It's, being here, leaving, and coming back, sometimes that can be a little messy, but he wasn't going to tell anyone just because he literally had no idea. The transfer portal is can be ups and downs with that, but just talk to a few of the coaches, and I think they were on board with it, and
Were you kind of like, wow, when you first maybe said this could happen? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of you don't see this happen all the time.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of our older guys that are done playing were saying that too. They're like, who would have thought and stuff, and but yeah, it was I wasn't expecting that at all. So
What is it about him that made this unique move not messy? You mentioned it can be messy for guys.
Right.
Like, why wasn't it messy for Jacoby? What's unique about him that made this work?
I think obviously having relationships here from the past probably helped the most. But again, you don't know what you're getting into, because you can transfer and not get picked up, or you can transfer and not play, and I think just having the past connections and relationships from here probably helped.
All right. Thanks, John.